All right. Hello again, SEC West fans. This is a show I've been wanting to do for a long time. I decided to do it this week because of the obvious LSU versus Alabama game going on this week. Uh, Over the last couple years, I've got a lot of emails from Alabama fans saying that, y'all, meaning LSU fans, are jealous because Nick Saban's here. And I've got a lot of emails saying, do you still like Saban? Do you think he's the devil and all this stuff? And I've even called the Feinbaum show last year and talked about this just to clear the air. And I'm certainly not the majority. My opinion is probably not the majority of LSU fans out there, but I'm gonna give you mine. My opinion of Saban is, I've got a lot of respect for him. I'm gonna go back when he first came to LSU in 2000, and I tell you the truth, I didn't want him because, and the only reason I didn't was because he got beat by Jerry DiNardo in the Independence Bowl. So at the time, I was thinking to myself, why would we want this guy? So anyway, Nick came, and the biggest thing he did that we're still able to do now, but the best thing Nick did when he came was he was able to shut down the state of Louisiana recruiting. And we have been, I've been following college football since '76, and we all knew if we could ever get us a coach that could shut down our borders, we could win national championships. Our kids from New Orleans would always usually go to either Nebraska or Miami or Florida State, depending on what your team du jour was at the time. But usually was that, Nebraska and Miami types. Warwick Dunn from Baton Rouge went to Florida State and lit it up. We had Peyton Manning left to go to Tennessee. But anyway, Saban was able to close our borders down. And it wasn't too much longer where he won a national championship. But after his first SEC championship in his second year there, he did something. His job at LSU was safe for years. He did more in winning that SEC championship than anybody ever would have thought any coach at LSU could have done, because we were bad when he got there. I mean, bad. And then, of course, he went on and won a national championship by a miracle. It was a miracle we were in the game, if you think about it, because I think Hawaii had to beat Iowa or Iowa's Technical Institute or something like that. So, his SEC championship, the first one was, a miracle, because I think we went in that game with 3 or 4 losses. National championship game, same thing. So anyway, that national championship game meant a lot to me personally because, my dad took me to games starting in 1976. That was our biggest love. And, we won a national championship. And I'll always look at Saban and say that's the man that won us our national championship. That's it. So I'll always have that respect for him, and I appreciate it. So anyway, Saban, then, of course, he leaves to go to Miami, which every LSU fan knew this was not his destination, his dream destination. He left LSU and went to Miami, and I felt sorry for him then because I thought he would want to get back in coaching. And the reason I felt sorry for him was, yeah, he's making all this money, but, LSU, Saban made LSU football to what we are now, number 9 in November, playing for a chance to win an SEC, and that's all you can ask for from a football team. He made us, but LSU made him too. Saban stepped into the right school. There's no other school you can go down and shut down the state and play for national championships like you can at LSU. And now with Katrina, that's kind of changing too, because our New Orleans recruiting base is drying up tremendously. A.K. Fluker at Alabama now. So, Saban leaves. We get Miles, and that's that. Then, a couple years later, he comes to Alabama. I wasn't shocked, and I wasn't mad at Saban. I felt sorry for him to tell you the truth, when he went to Alabama. Not because they're paying him $5 million and not because the fans love him, but I don't think, and I respect Alabama fans tremendously. They're my favorite fans. I love going to Tuscaloosa. I love going to Dreamland Barbecue. And I love hanging out with Alabama fans before the game because they know more than any other fan base, and I love hanging out with them after the game because they're great, regardless if they win or lose. We partied in Tuscaloosa like crazy. The only thing I don't like about Alabama fans is during the game because hell, I've been hit by purses and everything else. Probably deserved it anyway. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I don't think Saban is ever going to have at Alabama what he had at LSU. If he doesn't win a national championship in 2 or 3 years, people are going to start screaming. I think it's a fan base that will never be totally happy and satisfied. And as much as Alabama fans love and understand college football and are stewards of the game, I don't think they understand today's college football. In today's college football, what Florida's done and what LSU's done this decade is about as best as you can do. But you got to look at Florida. They had a 4-loss season in there. Last year we looked like turds, and Florida had some 3 and 4 loss teams in this decade before. And I don't think as a nation, I don't think Alabama fans are ever going to be happy with a 4-loss season or a 3-loss season and maybe get your chance for a national championship. And I'll go even further saying that if Pete Carroll would have been at Alabama the last 10 years, if Bob Stoops would have been at Alabama the last 10 years, and if Mac Brown would have been at Alabama the last 10 years, had they had their success that they're having at their schools at Alabama, I don't think they would have made it because they're not winning national championships year in and year out. And that's what the fan base in Alabama expects. So, with that said, I think that it's going to wear on the coach after a while, and just like it would anybody, because I think that Alabama fan base, as great as it is, it's hard on coaches, and they're expecting national championships every year, and in today's college football, it's not going to happen. And if Pete Carroll can't win a national championship year in and year out at USC with the talent he's got in the conference that he's been playing in, all respect to Oregon because they whooped their butts this year, but if Pete Carroll can't do it at USC in the Pac-10, nobody, especially not in the SEC. You'll see what Florida does next year. It's just going to happen. So if you have your opportunities every 4 or 5 years to play for a national championship, that's about as best as you're going to do, especially with the scholarship limits and every school in the country is trying to be good, and especially in the SEC. So it's my hope that Saban does bring home a national championship to Alabama soon, to pacify the fan base, so everybody will be happy. And maybe, just maybe, he will stay around for a while. But I'm thinking if he doesn't bring one home in the next, I'll give him 3 years. I think you guys in Alabama are going to start, going insane, calling the Fine Bomb Show and writing letters and everything else. Because what Saban's done the last 2 years at Alabama is about as best as anybody can do. Yeah, he hasn't brought home the hardware yet, but he's winning games. And any coach that can go undefeated in their first year in the SEC is great. So that's just my take on it, and I swear to God, if LSU doesn't win a national championship, the next team in line that I would hope wins it is Alabama, and then it's Florida, and then it's any other SEC team. Because as long as SEC schools are winning national championships, that bodes well for all of us. When we get a shot at it, we get more respect from the pollsters. Well, hell, they're from the SEC. Look at us in 2007. I think that respect for the SEC really helped us even get in that game because we play like knuckleheads. So no hard feelings between this fan and Nick Saban. I wish him all the success in the world. And if he ever watches this video, thank you for bringing home a national championship and 2 SEC championships to LSU and leaving our current coach, Les Miles, with a boatload of talent and a program headed in the right direction. Thanks.